Irina, thanks very much for joining us. You're obviously head of research and market information at INREV. As we're moving towards 2021, just give us, I suppose, your insights on some of the key themes for Europe.
Where do I start? I think in the market as we see today, there's just so much happening right now. I think the key themes that it's important to highlight are that COVID have really accelerated some of the key trends in the market that were there before. The most obvious and very well discussed is the shift away from retail and between retail and industrial logistics. Flexible working is another. I think it was already on the way and it's happening, but it's just been really accelerated and brought forward by the COVID. And then in shifting interest towards the more operational niche residential senior housing, those kind of operational real estate segments of the market, as well as very importantly ESG.
You're based there out of Germany, so I suppose how are you seeing the German market, and particularly within the context of your sort of view of Europe more generally?
We just released the INREV Q3 fund index, and the good news is the Q3 performance is back into the positive territory, and it's 0.89% return. Now, it's not where it used to be on the pre-crisis quarterly performance, which was about 1.76%, but it's quite good, and the capital growth is positive again. But there are winners and losers depending on the single country strategy. For example, Germany leads the pack with 1.82% return. And UK is the only market who remain to be in the negative performance territory this quarter with minus 0.25%. So that's really the key results. There are quite a lot of difference in the sectoral performance, with industrial logistics and residential leading. But this quarter, the industrial logistics really outperformed with over 3%. And retail, unfortunately, remains very much in the negative territory. Its improvement from about minus 4.3% last quarter, but it's still a negative 1.4% for Q3 performance for Europe.
Irina, obviously at INREV, you're talking to a lot of the fund investors. Are you seeing anything in terms of general sentiment?
Yes, I think in terms of long-term allocations, there's just so much dry powder still available to be spent. But in terms of kind of more granular understanding where the sentiment is at, we launched the COVID-19 questionnaire earlier this year, where we are getting information on the material uncertainty clauses. And that's really started to shift and show that at about 54% at the end of Q1, it's moved to less material uncertainty clauses at the end of Q2 to about 45%. And that shares even smaller now. And so to me, that says that after the initial shock, market participants have accepted the change and starting to get back to some kind of normality.
Great, thanks very much. Really interesting to get kind of your insights, particularly from INREV on that, Irina. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Richard.